Welcome to Enlightenment with Julian Nicholas, your gateway to a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. In each episode, Julian delves into the essence of wisdom and self-esteem, offering insights and messages to inspire your growth. Now, here's your host, Julian Nicholas, to guide you on this transformative journey towards living your best life.
Hello there! I am so glad to be here today. I am joined with some good friends of mine. I am joined with my friends Ulissa.
Hi.
Ubelina.
Hey.
And making his second appearance onto the show, welcome back, Louie.
Yo.
If you're a returning listener, welcome back. But if you're a new listener, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you wish to better yourself, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast and share it to someone you know. That way, they can
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry, Miss Nessie will edit this.
Yeah, I know.
That way, they can become a member of the Enlightening Hive Mind, a community of Enlightenment listeners who seek nothing more but truth, wisdom, and knowledge. With that being said, let's get into the interview. So, how is everyone doing today?
So far so good right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I feel good.
Yeah, I'm doing good too.
Great. Now, the first question I like to ask is, what are some mental health conditions you have been experiencing or have dealt with? This can range from depression, suicidal thoughts.
As of lately, I've been dealing with it. I've been dealing with social anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. I was dealing with that, but I got over it. But other than those two, those are the only two main ones I've been dealing with right now.
I've been a little stressed, like over college and stuff with the application and all that. So that's been a little stressful. But then, I got over it a little. I finished my application and FAFSA and all that. So I've been feeling so much better after I finished all that.
Well, for me recently, probably some anxiety and maybe a little bit ADD, just because like Ubelina said, with college and stuff. But I feel like I put a lot on my plate, so there's too many things to coming up and too many things to focus on at once. So I get overstimulated and I just get stuck. I have so much to do, and then I just get stuck on between what to do first.
Now, how do you remove some of those stuff off your plate to make yourself less stressed?
What's been helping me is probably making a list, and making a list especially in order by deadlines, so I can get it off get it off my plate, so I could focusing on one thing at a time, because one thing I tend to do is I'm just a mess in my head, and then I have too many things to do at once. So it really helps to just, organize what I have to do, physically, so I could see it.
Do you two have any other ways to remove stress or anything that's going on in your mind?
When it comes to depression, I don't really pay much mind to it, because I know how I act, I know how my body's reacting, how I'm reacting. And if I ever want to just feel better while I'm dealing with that, most of the time I just talk to my friends, by hanging out with them, whatever the case may be. And it makes me forget about everything. And even if it does come back to me, it doesn't hit me as hard as it did the first time. And with social anxiety, there's not much I could do with that. But over time, I started getting, used to being surrounded by so many people. And even up until now, I still have it, but I've been managing through it.
All right. What about you, Ubelina?
The way I manage with stress, basically I try to, since I felt cluttered in my mind, with all the college stuff, with all the FAFSA not going through and stuff and not working, I felt cluttered, my mind was cluttered with stress. And the way after I got help, obviously, from my counselor and my AVID teacher. They helped me out with, and also my AVID peers, they helped me out with the forms and all that. After that, I think I went home that day, and then I don't know, that just makes me feel good, like, about myself when I clean. When I clean my room, like, I felt like I lit a candle up and I cleaned my bed. I washed, like, my clothes and everything, and I just felt refreshed and new. Like, I felt so good that day. I showered and it was great.
So basically,
Yeah.
it's getting the help or reaching out as well as trying to distract yourself from what's going on. What would you rate your mental health from 1 to 10? 10 being great, 1 being awful.
Right now, I'd say an 8.
Why is that?
I still have a lot of work to do because I'm still trying to forget about some stuff that happened. But other than that, I've been fine. I've been happy. I've been enjoying my life as much as I can. And other than that, I'm fine.
I'm really happy to hear that from you, Louis. What about you, Eubelina?
Right now, I'll give it a 7 because, yeah, like, I'm trying to, like, get everything in place. Just try to, like, put everything in place, and, like, how Yulissa said, like, have a schedule with everything. Like, I'm trying to do that. It's a new thing for me. Like, having a schedule when I didn't have one back then, that's something new that I'm doing now.
So being able to establish a routine for yourself.
Yes.
What about you, Yulissa?
I would say I'm also a 7 because I feel like generally, like, I'm very happy. Like, I'm very happy. Like, I'm not necessarily sad. I guess the only thing that brings it down to a 7 is, like, just the stress of everything, like transitioning to, like, a new part of our lives. So yeah, like, I'm gonna be, like, I'm going to college. I'm gonna be dorming. I'm gonna be away from my family. So that puts a little bit of stress on me. But at the same time, it's a good thing, so I can be independent. So it's bittersweet because it's like it's sad, but it's also a good thing.
Yeah, like, I understand how you feel because I'm also getting ready to go to college. And even though I'll be sad to leave high school and everything else, I still try to find, like, a silver lining to it. So I fully understand what you're saying. Do you feel like social media is a big problem when it comes to mental health, especially for young people?
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because social media gets you involved in a lot of unnecessary drama. It shows you a lot of things you're not supposed to see, especially at a young age. It can affect your mental health by once you start texting people, start talking to people. Some of those people could be sending you death threats. Some of those people could be saying a lot of things about you, could be saying a lot of rumors about you. It could really, mess up your mental health. And not only that, it has led people to kill themselves.
So in a way, it kind of desensitizes someone and creates some sort of, I don't want to say pressure, perhaps, but
it's just like it fogs up your mind from everything else, and it just makes you think like, oh, I need this. Like, you need social media to live. That's not the case.
All right, like an addiction in a way.
Yeah.
What about you two?
I agree. In a way, you know how, like, we get likes and stuff. I feel like everyone goes on social media and seeks validation. A lot of misinformation could be spread too. Unfortunately, people actually, like, they actually,
Are susceptible to
yeah,
that?
they are. Like you said, like, there's things like you don't want to see. So it kind of, like, is, from social media, it just pops up on your screen. There's things like that you see that you don't want to. And yeah, I just think social media could be a very toxic environment.
What about you, Eubelin?
I agree with you, Alyssa. In my case, social media, oh my God, it has, like, to be honest, it's not real. Like, social media is not real. But, like, every time I go on social media and I see, like, for example, celebrity, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be like them. I want to look like them. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, oh, why don't I look like that? And then it puts me in my mind that I have to be like them and, like, I have to look like that. So, yeah, it's really stressful and, like, very toxic.
So in a way for you, it fuels your insecurities.
Yes.
Now, have y'all ever had to take a break or had to step away from social media because of your mental health?
Yes. I had to take a break from social media for an entire year.
Wow.
I was too addicted, and even now, but I'm more controlled about it. So I didn't have so much control over myself when it came to social media, and it led to a very bad place for me. Um, I needed time, and I took the time, and it helped me a lot.
What about you, Belina?
I've never taken a break, but I've thought about it because like again, like me seeing those body standards and all that, like I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet.
I did. I remember I have taken a break from social media, but I've taken a break from my phone in general. But it wasn't by choice. It was kind of forced because I broke my phone. This was back in 2020. I was I think 14 at the time. I broke my phone, and obviously 2020 everybody was using their phones. Everything was virtual, so everyone's social life was on social media. So for me to like not have my phone, not only was I taking a break from my phone, I feel like I was taking a break from like my social life in general. Also, it was during the summer too, which was kind of, I want to say it. Well, it worse because I couldn't like contact anyone at all. But also, I would say it was probably a good thing for me. I feel like me breaking my phone, I don't regret that at all because that whole summer I didn't have my phone. I was very stress free. I was just, I felt like I don't know how to describe this, but I felt like normal. Like I didn't feel like a robot like behind the screen all day. Like I got to go outside more. I know that sounds sad, but I went outside more. I felt happier. I also picked up piano. Like I use my phone so much that I would like don't even pick up new hobbies. So I started playing piano that time I broke my phone, and honestly, I feel like it's one of probably breaking my phone is probably one of the best things that has ever happened to me.
Now, since Eubelina mentioned that she never took a break, Louis, when you took that year off from social media, did you feel like your mental health improved or?
Yeah, it did. It helped a lot. Um, because when I was using social media, I didn't go outside and anymore. I just stayed in. I was just stuck in my house. When it came to that bad spot, when I realized I needed a break, I started going out more. I started getting back into my old hobby of playing sports, which was soccer, and I started playing again. I started playing with my friends, and then I got back into it, and it made me forget about everything I was dealing with during that time, and it helped. And thanks to my friends too, because they realized that I didn't go out anymore. They made me understand, and they made me wake up.
All right, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that. Now, define what mental health means. Like, what does it mean to you?
Mental health is just like our bodies. We need to take care of it. We need to make sure it's preserved. We need to make sure it's doing good. We need to make sure that we check up on it every once in a while to see how it's going, how it's running. And when you notice that there's a problem, it's your responsibility to, and you have the ability to ask for others to help you out, to talk to you. If need be, go to a therapist, talk to them, tell them about your problems, and do whatever you can to try and improve it. And if not, little by little.
I like that, and I think I can fully agree with that. It's basically where you need to be more open with yourself and honest with yourself and being able to see the problems that you're dealing with. What about you, Ulissa?
To me, I feel like mental health is something that should be taken care of because if you're not good in your head, if you're not good in the head, like you won't be good like physically. You could be the healthiest person like physically, like you could have the healthiest diet, like you could work out every day, but if you know like inside that you're not feeling well mentally, like it could just bring you down, and honestly, it kind of takes away a part of life too. Like you're not really enjoying your life if you're not healthy mentally. So taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your body. Like eating right, working out, sleeping is just as important as all of those things.
What about you? I mean, sorry, Eubelina. Sorry.
Mental health. Oh my god. Mental health to me It's like being right, like in your head, like Yolissa said, like being right in your head is what, like when you wake up, so you go to sleep, like that's so important to me. Because if you're not right in the head, that's when like stress comes, depression comes, and all that. So like mental health, it's really important to me because, oh my god,
It's okay. It's okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Take your time.
Take your time. Take your time. No need to stress yourself.
I'm having a mental breakdown. Okay. Yeah, it's very important. Mental health, like, wow. Oh my god. I don't know how to put it.
Well, how about this? I'll ask the next question, and we can come back when you're able to think about it.
Yes.
All right. How do you keep yourself in a healthy mindset?
I only got 2 words.
What?
Working out. For me. That's it. In all honesty, when I started getting back to working, going back to the gym, working out, I stopped for like 2 years because I was demotivated again. And after what happened with my uncle, I was thinking, I'm like, this isn't what he would want for me, and I have to work. I have to be better for myself, not just for him. I got the motivation back. I started going back to the gym. I'm gonna reach a year tomorrow. It really made me think about how I am, how I am as a person, who I am as a person, how my mental health was and how it is now, and how my relationships are with my friends and everything else, whatever the case may be. And it not only helped my body, but it helped my mind wake up and realize, hey, like, we needed this. And now, thanks to this, now you have something to get motivated about again.
All right. What about you, Belina?
The way I keep myself in a healthy mindset is being like clean, just like having everything clean, being around clean space. Also, like I like to like nowadays I think they call it like pamper yourself. Like I like to get my hair done, get my nails done, my lashes done, and like that helps me in a like great mindset. Like just getting myself ready for life, like looking like good, like for myself, just makes me feel really good about myself.
Because you're allowing yourself to be loved, like you're loving yourself.
Yes, I like to love myself, to have a healthy mindset.
Well, that's good. Everyone, and I encourage everyone to love themselves. What about you, Yulissa?
For me, it would probably be music. Like, as you know, like I've been playing cello since I was 10, and every time I'm sad or I'm mad, like I just play my cello, and it like everything, like my mind is just clear. Yeah, honestly, I think that's it. Just music. It means a lot to me, and it makes me feel happier.
If you don't mind me asking, what song do you like to play on your cello?
Oh my goodness, it's called it's Allegretto from Beethoven's Seventh Symphony, the second movement. I love that piece. And fun fact, actually, that piece, the chords used on that piece, I'm pretty sure they've done research on it, but the chords used on that piece have been proven to like help with grief and sadness.
Wow.
And helps with healing. I love that piece so much. Like I've been listening to it on repeat so much, and I play it all the time. I love it.
Wow.
Yes. No one's ever asked me that.
Do you feel like there's still a stigma behind mental health and talking about it?
Yes, but I feel like it depends on the person, because I feel like for example, I feel like men's mental health is looked down upon than women's. So I feel like in a way, like men are like supposed to, like they have that stereotype where they're supposed to be tough. They're like they don't cry. Like I feel like a lot of boys have grown up saying that they can't cry, that men don't cry. So I feel like yes, but it depends on the person.
Like I'm honestly surprised that you said that, because I full-heartedly agree with you, and I'm glad I was able to bring a female perspective on this.
Yeah,
because sometimes we just prioritize a lot on women's mental health, which shouldn't be ignored. No,
yeah,
I believe that both mental health for a guy and a girl, for anybody, should be addressed. and should be looked upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I want to add on to that. So not
Sure.
just men, I would also probably say mothers too, just because I feel like moms, like since they have kids, like they're expected, like people think that they don't have feelings, that like, you know, there's obviously, yes, they have to prioritize their child, but like people like ignore the fact that, you know, they're people too. They also feel sad as well. Sometimes they feel down too. Like that's why I like every mother out there, like they're just very strong because they, you know, they're there for their kid. They prioritize their kid, and most of the time they put their they put their mental health last, you know. So I would say men and mothers. I was obviously everyone in general. Everyone's mental health is important, but I would say men, mothers, and also maybe like students too. At this point, I would be naming any any kind of person, but like students too. Like I feel like people don't, like, you know, especially if like, or I don't know if you have like immigrant parents, but like they expect us to like, you know, that we just go to school, we go home and we relax, but they
Yeah.
don't know what goes on in school. Like not only with like academically, like with our grades and stuff, but also socially. Like they have no idea
Yeah.
what it's like in school because most of our parents haven't even went to school before, or they've dropped out at an early age. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like understand like
They just think it's all
Yeah.
easy, and they just think like, oh, you're going to school. What's the big deal? Like you could just get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
But
don't-
once like you introduce them to like how the work is, how mentally exhausting it can really be, how some teachers can not even understand your point of view on it, and they just really could care less. And overall, they think it's easy, but once they get even just a taste of that, they get overwhelmed.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I feel like in those instances, mental health is like looked down upon us.
And with men, that stereotype of us not being able to cry, not
Oh,
being,
yeah.
like having that tough, yada yada yada. It is a very big stereotype. It has been addressed, but most people could care less about it because that's just how some people are. But the people who do address it, they understand that we're human too.
Oh yeah.
We've got feelings, we've got emotions, we've got all this. We can feel pain, we can feel anything. Just because we're men doesn't mean we're invincible. We can feel pain too.
Oh yeah. And I just want to say this right now for all the men listening to my podcast. There is no shame in being vulnerable. There is no shame in saying I'm in pain and I'm hurting. There's no shame in that. I encourage you to get the help that you need. Because if anything, that really defines you. Not just as a man, but as a person. Because you're willing to say, I need help. That says a lot. That takes a lot of strength.
Who made like that idea of like men not crying and like men not having those emotions? Like
Back to the topic of social media, that's one.
But yeah, that's
One.
one.
no,
and,
yeah,
and I think history also says that as well because
Yeah.
we as men are like
Yeah.
taught to be, you know, strong and
Mhm.
tough and macho. When in reality, like Louis said, we guys have feelings too.
yeah.
Have you ever felt stigmatized because of your mental health?
To be honest, only two people
Yeah.
I'd say really look down upon my mental health are my parents.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that,
me
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Because my friends, they understand it. Anyone else close to me, but that's my other family, they understand it too. But most of the time, it's your parents.
Oh yeah.
Because one, your parents think that, oh, just because you're young, you're at this age, you have an easy life, like you're not dealing with any problems with school or anything, like you're supposed to be this perfect student. But then once you try to explain to them, hey, I'm not okay, like I need you to get that into your head, like I'm not okay, they tell you like, hey, you gotta toughen up. Like for instance, for like with my dad, he said the same thing over again, like you can't cry, you've gotta toughen it up, and you've gotta understand. And he said the same thing with my uncle, like he's gone, like forget about it, like there's no need to cry about something that's in the past, like he's told me about it multiple times. And same thing with my mom, she said the same thing. And my mom's always saying like, oh, like she compares me to other kids, like to other people, like, and like she always keeps saying like, "Oh, why aren't you doing as good as you did when you were younger?" Well, the difference is this is high school compared to like fourth grade or
Mhm.
fifth grade. There's a big difference.
I want to add on to that. I feel like the reason why most parents are like have that kind of mindset is because like when they were like our age, I don't think they had any type like now like mental health awareness is everywhere. Everyone's supporting it and stuff like that. But probably back then there wasn't really no one really cared about mental health. It was never recognized. So I feel like they their since their mental health has always been swept under, like they probably have mental health problems on their own, like of their own, and they probably don't even know it. So since their mental health problems have been like swept under the rug back then, so like they kind of let it out on us, and they just don't understand. They aren't educated enough on that topic. I feel like that's kind of the why they're the way they are, because it was different in their times.
What about you, Belina?
Yeah. I also think it's like a race, like a race thing too. Like,
Really?
yeah. Um, especially Hispanic parents, like they at home. For example, my mom, she like when she was young, my grandma would just like probably like hit her if she like talked to her about it. Like it was a lot of like abuse going.
They would think that abuse is the way to fix
Yes.
the problem.
They grew up with it, so they're used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more of a generational thing rather than a racial thing. But
Okay.
I kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but me, in my case, I think teachers listen to me a lot. But my parents, again, like, they don't, like, care.
Yeah, because, for example, my dad, he would always had that, like, tough guy persona in a way where he's like, Julian, it's not okay for boys to cry. But in reality, it is okay for men to cry. So there's nothing wrong with that. What is your happy place? Or what do you find comforting or solace in?
Happy place would have to be my old uncle's house or going to the park. Two reasons. My uncle's house, because before he passed, whenever I visited him, I would see him. He would be with his friends. He'd always say hi to me whenever he saw me. He was shocked to see how much I grew. And with the park, ever since I was a little kid, I always played around with him because he always made time for me. When my parents never could, and my uncle would always like take me to the park. He would always, play soccer with me. He played basketball with me. And by the time I was like 14 or 15, around there, he would always sit at this certain bench, a specific bench. And every now and then I go to that one bench he used to sit on, and I would sit next to it as if he was like, sitting next to me. I always sit there and I just think about all the good things that I've done in my life in general and with him. And it makes me forget about everything, and it just makes me, realize like, hey, I wasn't okay at one point, but I'm okay now.
What about you?
My happy place is probably in Dominican Republic with my grandparents.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I love being around them. Like, the food my grandma cooks, I love it over there. The palm trees, the ocean, everything, it just makes me stress-free.
Yeah, it brings you a sense of calmness.
Yes.
What about you, Alyssa?
I would say going to concerts, like symphony orchestra concerts. I know I make it my whole personality, but I go to concerts a lot. I go to concerts a lot. I prefer to go by myself, but I do like bringing friends to like let them have that experience. But usually like they fall asleep. So, but I enjoy going by myself. That's really my happy place. Like because you really get like in the moment, and it's just the music is beautiful, and yeah, it just like makes me forget about everything that's going on.
Do you think more should be done for mental health awareness?
I think there's a lot of resources right now for mental health, but it's like the part is like actually like going to talk to people, actually doing those steps. It's like hard, like.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, we have the resources, we have the people to talk to, but the fact that most of the time we don't really address it, that's what really bothers me. Because We have the resources. We could talk. We can get people to have a better state of mind with time, yes, but we have the resources. But what I feel like should be done more is just we should just to talk to people, even if it's just a random person on the street, just asking them if they're really okay.
Yeah, I would. I agree. Like, I feel like some people are in denial that they're struggling with their mental health. So it's kind of like we do have the resources, but it's kind of hard to use the resources if you can't admit that that you're hurting.
Oh yeah, because we are so used to bottling up that feeling of emotions and everything, to where it's hard to really.
Yeah, so I would say like having people like we need to kind of normalize expressing your feelings and admitting that you have a mental health problem.
And my last question is, what advice would you give to a young adult who is facing a mental health crisis or a struggle?
Focus on hobbies. Focus on finding the time to heal from anything, whatever the case may be, relationship, family passing, whatever the case may be. Do something that can distract you from whatever's bothering you, and find people.
I would probably tell them to look at the brighter side of things, and like I understand they're going through hardships, but you gotta look at the good side of things and like probably focus on that.
I would say to definitely talk to someone, find someone that you that you can trust and vent to, because like bottling up your emotions is only gonna make it worse, and it's gonna make the feeling worse. So I would say like just let it out and talk to someone.
Well, that's nice. And I just want to thank all of you for coming down here to the studio. It really means a lot to hear your voices and your perspective on things, especially with such a prevalent topic as mental health. Well, my friend, you have reached the end of this lovely discussion. To ensure that you're in the right headspace and to continue to follow the path of progress, to better equip yourself with the sage wisdom to help guide you on your journey we call life. If you wish to continue our weekly talks on how to become a better version of yourself, my suggestion is to press the follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening to this fine podcast. If you feel like someone could be in need to hear these words of wisdom, to steer them to the path of progress, and to feel empowered, informed, and inspired, why not share this podcast and its teachings to them? Until next time, folks, keep the candle burning.
Thank you for listening to Enlightenment with Julian Nicholas. We hope today's episode has sparked new insights and empowered you on your path to personal growth. For more inspiration and wisdom, be sure to subscribe and follow. Connect with Julian on Instagram at enlightenment_pod. And if you found value in the show, please tell someone else. Join Julian next time as he continues his journey towards enlightenment. Until then, remember to embrace your journey and live your best life.